Out of all the competitive game modes that Fire Emblem Heroes has to offer, Summoner Duels is by far the most volatile. Strategies that ran teams over one month could be completely trivialized in the next. Because the climate of SD changes so frequently, I played 100 games of Summoner Duels to figure out which of the 192 appearing units made the biggest splash in November, and to give my best guess at what the Summoner Duels meta will look like as we head into December. First, let's take a look at the most commonly encountered units this month. The most frequent unit by a long shot was ARVAL, who I'm going to get to in a little bit. In our number 2 spot, we have Asker, who despite approaching his 5th month of play, is still a powerful all-rounder, providing incredible support to non-OC characters, as well as packing a punch in his own right, collecting 7 kills in 15 games appeared. Without a character engineered to take out beast tanks like Byleth or ARVAL, Asker can allow his teammates to absolutely run you over. Following Asker on the list is Brave Seliph in 3rd place, who continues to delete your tanks for free, Eliwood, hot off his shiny new Refine in 4th, Grima in the 5 spot, who has become the de facto save tank of November, and Hatari Azura, who remains one of the most useful dancers in the game right now. After them in 7th place is Yuri, who I will get to in a bit, and Ashe in 8th place, who probably saw a boost in use due to the trenches present in the most recent Summoner Duels map. Units showing up frequently is one thing, but who's most efficient at deleting the enemy? Units that successfully kill units can fill captain roles quite well due to the additional points, and the most efficient way to win in Summoner Duels is to get rid of the 5 guys on the other side. ARVAL and Seliph top the list this time, with Yuri right on their heels in 3rd. Tied with the aforementioned Asker, Yune comes in 7 kills, hot off her own personal remix, which allows her to stack up to 104% damage reduction if properly set up. Although she didn't pick up as much momentum this month as her remix partner did, 5th place is a strong performance for a previously irrelevant character. 6th place is home to Summer Edelgard, who, despite only appearing in 7 games, notched a kill in almost every single one of them. Despite Gale Force strategies generally being weaker in the Summoner Duels meta because of the way movement works, Edelgard's second action forces your team to trade with her, potentially burning the action of a nuke you wanted to use later in the turn. There's a big tie for 7th place between Eitri, Ninja Legyarn, and Brave Byleth. Though somewhat less important, captains are good to keep track of because they can take advantage of captain-specific buffs, such as preventing enemy save tanks from activating, providing proximity buffs, or getting access to special cooldown shenanigans. They also get that funny little extra point swing for dying or for collecting a kill. So although most people relegate the captain spot to their favorites, me included, it's important to prepare for common enemy captains because they're worth more. The most common captain this month was Fallen Edelgard, who appeared as a captain the same amount of time as Bridal Catria appeared in total. Again, even though Gale Force strategies aren't as effective, Edelgard not only synergizes with the beast tanks and support units, she also has serviceable bulk to survive some nukes not tailored to killing her. Surprisingly, Ninja Camilla spent her fair share of time as a captain as well. More often than not, she was planted at the choke point of a map, while the rest of the units on the team attempted to snipe your hardy bearing unit. Here were the most common support units this month. Although I've covered the top 3, Elamine steals the 4 spot here, with her passive damage reduction that can sway certain matchups. Not much else to say on support units. Here were the most common save tanks this month. The most common save tank was Rearmed Grima, but Halloween Duma with his healing duo skill anchored many teams as well. Without an armor or beast effective nuke on your team, premium save units threaten to trivialize many unprepared teams. The 3rd most common save tank was sometimes not even a save tank at all, in the form of Brave Edelgard. If a team that ran Edelgard managed to somehow take out my Chrom, the game was over. The most frequent dancer was a surprise to me. I was sure Ninian, hot off the presses, would run the meta this month, but she was simply not able to surpass Hatari Azura, who is still the Summoner Duels dancer. Legendary Azura falls short behind due to her also having Grey Waves, and Duo Peony fills out the 5th place slot. Omni tanks, although less commonly found than save tanks, are becoming a more common strategy, and Brave Tiki was the most common of this archetype, with Brave Dimitri close behind. Legendary Marth made a surprising appearance on this list, showing up in 4 games, tying with the Beast Unit Myrrh and Male Shez, who I was pleasantly surprised to see. Now it's time for Summoner Superlatives, the way I can break down who stood out in their own unique role in a yearbook-style format. This November's meta mixer was Grima, who helped in ushering near-save strategies, something no other save tank seems to be doing. How does she do it? Well, you team her up with nukes that can out-gimmick death from afar, like Camilla or Byleth. With Grima covering their close quarters blind spot, without a specific team to counter it, this strategy was quite effective in the month of November. The fallen star this month was Flame Lyn, who appeared in just 3 games this month. I was considering giving this title to Brave Dimitri, but the amount of strategies with Lyn and SD I had come across in the past, for her to suddenly become irrelevant, was shocking to me. In a meta where Omni tanks struggle, Lyn failed to crack the top 5, and that's truly unfortunate for fans of the character. The dark horse this month was Yuri, who I can't believe showed up as much as he did. Although sadly the days of AoE Yuri are dead, the new Volk manual may have breathed some life into the Ashen Valiant. No matter how BST and Summoner Duels meta changes, I predict that there will always be room for 3 movement and lethality. The effectiveness of foul play never really went away. The AWOL unit this month was Thief Nina, who appeared only 1 time. Despite being seemingly designed to run Summoner Duels, as well as having a unique warp retreat skill, this unit's hit and run tactics seemingly didn't find a place in the meta, and quite frankly, I'm not sure why. This month's runner-up was Brave Seliph, who's proving to be the strongest of the new Braves. It's not just the 4 movement. His father, Sigurd, has unconditional 4 movement, and he only showed up in a single game in November. The real effect that's carrying Seliph is his Miracle, that discourages nukes from going after him, especially when he's on team comps where either Duma or Elamine can heal him, or with double Mystic Boost to reproc his Miracle over and over and over. His Canto allows him to either retreat to a savior, or splinter away from the action to potentially bait a nuke into attacking him instead of the higher priority units on the team. The MVP this month is ARVAL. They're the scariest unit out there right now, no doubt about it. Most kills, most appearances, heck, I converted to using ARVAL halfway through my 100 games, and the results instantly flipped. Aside from the passive guard and auto triangle advantage, ARVAL stands out as a one-size-fits-all answer to save tanks, as well as gimmicky vantage type mages like Brave Byleth. She also has a great matchup against the threatening Ninja Camilla by either out-rezzing her or tanking her first hit outright. If you don't have ARVAL and are looking to play a lot of SD, I would keep my eyes out for their next rerun. Now it's time for some predictions I have for the meta of December. The first prediction I have is going to be a rise of use of Legendary Julia. Although she only appeared twice this month, a beast effective tank buster who destroys Duma and will destroy the upcoming Ascended Tiki feels like a can't miss unit to consider building a team around. Nukes usually get power crept rather quickly, and older units don't normally get their day in the sun, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Julia in the near future. The next prediction I have is the rise of near saves. As previously mentioned, the newest magical nukes can handle themselves against most ranged threats, while melee nukes like Brave Seliph are currently going completely unchecked. I'm not sure who it'll be, but someone is going to tear it up with near save as a C skill. The last prediction I have is simply that the main facets of this current meta will remain relatively unchanged. ARVAL and Seliph will remain in charge of the meta until counterplay emerges, most likely in the form of a shiny new toy, and not an inventive strategy. Party bearing stocks will continue to rise as more and more gimmick vantage builds take hold of the meta. Regardless of unethical strategies, frustrating units, and insane power creep, Summoner Duels remains the most diverse and unique meta of all of the PvP modes in Fire Emblem Heroes. The fact that 192 units found a place this month, and no unit showed up more than 20% of the time, tells me that the Summoner Duels meta is alive and well, and my greatest hope is that the mode continues to encourage such innovation. I'm looking to make this into a monthly series, where I cover the state of Summoner Duels, So let me know what I should keep track of, what I'm keeping track of that maybe isn't so important, or key stats I'm missing. Someone in the Discord mentioned tracking seals on units, so if that's something you'd want to see in the future, toss a comment down below. As always, be sure to like and sub if you like what you saw. I like doing longer scripted content, and I hope the algorithm does too. I don't know for sure what December in Asker will look like, but all I do know is that there is no time, and your sword is enough. Squadala!